Hey, family. I'm back. I am back. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. And the BMore's Real Team Talk Show. You know what, family? I'm trying to remember to say certain things right. Like, this is educational purposes only. It's educational purposes only. Okay? When I send my videos back out, my small clips, my short clips, I normally put them under entertainment. But it's educational purposes only. Right? I love the kid. I love the joke. I love the play. So that's where the entertainment part come in at. I don't want everybody to take what I say out my mouth too personal. But now, I want to say this. One, when I talk about myself, right, I do it because I am a God-fearing man. I do it because my journey is spiritual. It's not based around, it's not biblical like it used to be. Because I don't want to push out the religion as a Christian man. You get me? But I try to help people understand too. When I say that I'm a Christian, and I know people might get it mixed up with Christianity and stuff like that. But when I was reading like Philippians, the 2nd chapter, right, verses 1 through 11, and it talks about emulating Christ's humility or imitating Christ's humility. It's talking about your character. It's talking about your personality. That's why when I tell y'all I am a Christian, I'm only saying I'm a loving, kind, considerate person. And I tell y'all that, and y'all, and every time I say it, people looks right at the religion. And I can sit up here and I'm speaking to you, and I'm telling you it's not the religion. Now, be honest, I'm telling you this too. I was a very, 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 very religious man my first 5 years. So you mean to tell me I don't know the difference? But a lot of y'all been hurt. I don't know what happened, why it happened, but I'm not the type of person you want to like try. Because the first thing I'll think of, say like if you have anything against pastors, ministers, elders, deacons, and you downgrade these people, the first thing gonna pop in my head, you must have been raped or molested by one of them. And that don't mean it's true. But keep in mind, when you downgrade people because of their title, because sometimes people will use their titles to take advantage of other people. I already know that. As an ordained deacon, if I want to do this and I want to do that, I can do it. Mainly in my church. I already know. Then I'm a well-dressed, nice-looking man. I already know. But I choose not to act like that. But now, once y'all find out I'm a deacon, oh, he's a deacon, he this, he that. Y'all just go right into it. So mind you, as a person that work with people with psychological issues, I'm going to say it again. As a person that works with people with psychological issues, you know I'm going to zoom in on it. When you do it. Because the first thing gonna hit me, was it a grandfather? Could be an aunt, uncle, cousin. Did somebody hurt you? Now, I want to make this clear. Stop blaming stuff on the church as a whole. If you got with some people that's in the church and you became part of that group, and then you find out that these individuals are not who you think they are, don't judge the whole church for that. The church is that's a building that we go to fellowship and worship. But then you'll turn around because of a few bad apples and you blame it on the whole church as a whole. You'll blame it on the whole church. I can tell you this right now, at the Church of the Redeemed, I've been there a day at a time for a little over 25 years. I know a lot of members there. Love them. We don't fellowship like we used to early on. We are older now. We grandparents. We living our life. But now I know some of them talk one way, some of them act another way. But that's them. You don't have to be a part of that. Because we learn from each other. You get me? We learn what to do and what not. I ain't, because God will eat me up for that. You know, you're spirit wise. That's why I don't do a lot of the stuff I used to do. But see, when I say stuff out my mouth, it's like y'all don't get it. A lot of the stuff I used to do, I don't do no more because it doesn't feel right to my conscience, to my spirit, to my mind, to my heart, to my soul, to my body. I'm talking about the individual. I can't compare that to everybody. And sometimes some of the stuff I used to do, I had some nice times out there sleeping around with any and everybody. Oh, you shouldn't like that. No, I'm telling you, I had a nice time. And everything you just said out your mouth is right. But I had a nice time. I was miserable some days, and I went and I slept with a lot of other women. Talk about yourself. Well, see, I don't want nobody to know. I know, I understand. That's why I like picking with y'all when I say stuff, right? To thy own self be true. I wish I could remember certain things each time I come on. Like, to thy own self be true. So whenever you hear me talk about keeping life real, you know where I got that from? To thy own self be true, Steve. You can lie to everybody else, Steve, but you can't lie to yourself. That's when I started saying stuff like keeping life real. I'm reminding myself, keeping life real, Steve. To thy own self be true, Mr. Copeland. And a lot of times y'all make me feel like I'm by myself and stuff like that. And I know it's a lot of y'all out there that's on a great, look, living great and wonderful lives. I know it is. I know a lot of y'all. But it's like when I need y'all to come and back me up, y'all don't back me up. When I need y'all to come and tell people, yeah, I used to do this, I used to do that, I don't do that no more. People need to hear that. Because you're giving them a sense of hope. Y'all don't realize that. When we sit back and say, boy, I used to shoot dope, I used to shoot cane, I used to do this, I used to do that. And then that other person out there that's stuck, they be like, you used to do this, you don't look like you did it. That's what they tell me. You don't look like you ever did this, you don't look like you ever did that. Yeah. When I was doing drugs now, keep in mind, in my mind, I was a sociable addict. But I learned in NA, there's no such thing as a sociable addict. I call myself being responsible, being productive, making sure the bills were still paid, no matter how drunk I got. I made sure stuff was taken care of. like my mother taught me. But then it got to the point, guess what, family? I started being truly unmanageable. I was losing control. When we talk about the word powerlessness, see it right there? When we talk about admitting our powerlessness, right, it's just saying no control. When we talk about how our lives became unmanageable, we're just talking about how we have lost control. If I'm not managing it no more, I'm not in control of it. I had to look into those words deeper. If I'm not managing it, right, I don't have no control over it. I'm talking about my life. So what happened, in order for me to gain control, I had to admit, in that area of my life, I've lost all control. I need help. I need somebody to help me gain control back in that area. So once I admitted my powerlessness, I didn't realize I gained power. But I had to admit that what I was doing with the information right there, I lost control. So now it's like, okay, how can I turn this around? So I had to start taking on more healthy suggestions and information. Then this is what started happening, family, because I heard them say this in the meeting one time. In order for me to have some experience to share, I got to go and experience some things. In order for me to share my experience, I had to be honest. I'm going to use this word right here. Fuck up to straighten up. I had to go and fuck up to straighten up. Now I'm using that word because that's how can I say it? In a way I want y'all to know how serious I am. So if I curse to say certain things, I just want you to feel that realness. You get me? It's the realness that I want you to see. I had to make mistakes, which certain things I did I knew was wrong. But I had to learn from it. Now I got information on why you shouldn't do such and such and such and such and such and such and such. Because I actually experienced it for myself. I'm not talking about what I think. I'm not talking about like from statistics or research or stuff like that. I'm talking about from a level of personal experience. So where do you think a lot of the research and all this stuff come from? In order for you to understand the mindset of an addict, a practicing addict, you got to talk with them and see where they at. If you don't know what it is to be addicted to something, that's an obsessive behavior. It's here. It starts here with the obsession. Once I start acting out on it, I'm physically acting now. So I get caught up in the compulsion of it. The obsession and the compulsion. The obsession and the compulsion. Because my mind is stuck on it. And I'm physically acting out on it. So now I'm caught up. I have to learn to surrender and let it go. I had to do that with the alcohol. Be honest with y'all, I never thought I would stop drinking. I stopped drinking 6 months before I stopped shooting dope and cane. Look at that. I was 18 years old the last time I smoked weed. Because I used to get paranoid. We used to take 2 hits. And if you felt it, you know your stuff was great. Acapulco Gold and stuff like that. I don't know what they smoking now. See how times change. I would shoot cocaine. And I would shoot a little bit of dope with it. Then we called the speedballing. Because you're doing the dope and you're doing the cane. Right? Now, this is what the scientists, the doctors, I was going to say the theologians, but Most people that have degrees in these areas or letters behind their name, if you don't have personal experience to do that profession, then that means you got to read and study and research on that. Do y'all know I'll get people that will call me if they going to be a counselor and stuff like that, and they be wanting me to share with them so they can write their thesis or whatever that's called. That's why y'all need to listen sometimes when people talk. Because now I can go back and I can tell you the attitude and the personality of a using addict or practicing addict. And the goal is we just don't want to feel whatever it is that we're running from. Could be molestation, could be rape, could be mental, emotional, verbal abuse, could be physical, could be low self-esteem. But see, you'll never know until you talk with an individual like that to find out, to get to the grassroots cause. It's the grassroots cause. You got to get to the bottom of why people doing what they doing. But now in this process, this is what I learned from sponsoring men and women. Everybody wasn't raped and everybody wasn't molested to use alcohol and drugs and sex and food and gambling and all of that to sedate their feelings. Did you miss what I just said? To sedate their feelings. Because they're running from life, from the reality of life, of not wanting to feel whatever uncomfortable stuff that's happening. So when you talking with an individual like me, and I'm working with people, I got to take you back as far as I can to look at yourself. And it normally go back to childhood. Same way you'll talk to that therapist or that counselor. But see, the difference with me, they get paid to prolong whatever you're doing. That's how they make their money. I don't get paid. So I'll tell you, give me 3 to 6 months, but you got to do the work. I'm doing the same thing they doing. But I got to get you to be honest with yourself. I got to get you to have faith in yourself. I got to get you to trust in yourself. You hear how I keep saying in yourself, in yourself, in yourself. Because you got to feel it. It's a feeling, like spirit-wise. It's like, ooh, yeah, I like that. That's the only way I can explain it, right? Of being comfortable with yourself. And then what tends to happen, you'll start opening up. That therapists have a process. It could take you 10 years. Dealing with somebody like me who went through certain things, it's not to take you 10 years. It's to help you get better with living life on life terms. It's to help you understand those things that happened in your life, like in the past. It's in the past. They are going to show up from time to time. They're going to pop up. Certain things might hit you, might cause you to get really depressed. But then it's work that you got to do to bring it down, because it's your mind. It's a chemical imbalancement within the brain. So the goal is to find ways and means, healthy ways and means, to balance your brain. See, I already know this because of the self-work that I had to do on Steve. And the same way I was taught is the same way I work with men, women, and with our younger generation. One, I got to listen real closely in order to know which way to guide you. If I'm always talking while you're talking, I can't help it. So I have to shut my mouth while you're talking so that I know which way to guide you. So I'll know how better to help you. And I'm going to lay down the footwork or the seed. I'm going to plant the seed. But that therapist and that psychiatrist is the one that help it blossom. Love y'all.